Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending. Sorry for the little technical delay. My name is Ken Green with Surefire Social. I'm the Vice President of Sales. Also on the call today, who are going to walk you through this great social media presentation in the remodeling industry, is our social media team, Lisa Zawicki and Stephen Islick. And we also have on the call our marketing team, our Vice President of Marketing, Shashi, and our marketing manager, Jen. So welcome aboard. Our relationship with Wellborn is growing rapidly, and Shashi and I were actually just down at Wellborn in Ashton, Alabama, and met with the entire sales team and everyone else in the organization. And we are going to be working with Wellborn Cabinets and helping their dealers, remodelers, and contractors increase their online presence. So we are going to be running the digital part for Wellborn Cabinets to help their dealers and remodelers on a local basis improve their web presence so they can generate more leads. So Surefire Social, we began it back in 2007, so we're over 9 years old now. And the whole thing about social media is about the content, the proximity of the signals, the two important currencies, if you would, or signals that go out to improve your visibility. And everything you do today in the digital world really has to include social in it, and hence our name, Surefire Social. Who are we? We were founded in 2009 by Chris Morentis, who actually grew up in the remodeling industry, so he understands what you go through on a daily basis. We currently have over 150 people. We manage over 200 locations. But the big takeaway right here, besides us being one of the 35% of the fastest growing companies in Inc. 500, we're familiar with working with name brands like yourself, like Wellborn. We work with LP, GAF, Sunrise, Gutter Helmet, just to name a few. Our mission, like I mentioned earlier, is to help the remodelers, dealers, and contractors who work with Wellborn so you can create more visibility, and obviously leading to generating more leads. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa Zawicki, our Senior Marketing Manager, and Stephen Eastwick, our Content Marketing Strategist at Surefire Social. And if you have any comments to make during the presentation, please just type them in on the chat box, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. Lisa?
Thanks, Ken. And thanks, everybody, for taking the time to join us today. We hope this will be informative and helpful to you all. And like Ken said, feel free to type in any questions as we go along. We'll also take some time at the end to address them. So let's start with the value of social media. Why be social? Why do we need to be out there? Well, like any marketing channel, it gives you an opportunity to increase awareness of your company's brand, your company, your brand, your products, and your services. People are online, they're talking about you whether you're listening or not, so isn't it better to be out there and hearing what they're saying? That way you can engage with them directly and build relationships with customers and potential customers, even people interested in your service who are out there looking for a company but don't even know you exist. Social channels, they're great tools to drive traffic back to your website, to increase your online exposure, and ultimately what you really want, to get more customers. We'll touch on ways to make this happen as we go throughout the presentation. So they're out there and they're talking about you. This is a scary thought when you know that 92% have more confidence in information found online than they do in anything from a sales clerk or anyone else tells them. When you know that 70% consult reviews or ratings before making a purchase. And even more so when you know that 90% of online consumers trust recommendations from people they know. They're asking their friends on Facebook when they're looking for a new contractor or service provider. 70% even trust unknown users. They're going out there to social networks like Twitter and asking a tweet, sending a tweet out to ask for recommendations. They don't even know who's responding to them, but consumers out there, your word of mouth is more important than anything else you can pay to advertise to them. Only 14% trust advertising, and as little as 27% go to experts for this kind of information. So it's pretty important, and it's not who you think it is. It's not just young people who are engaging in social media. This is a look here at the percentage of people from different age groups who've dealt with a brand through social media. This is big numbers here. Almost 50% of 18 to 35-year-olds have engaged with a brand online. And it's not just that. You can see as much as 27% of those above 55 have interacted with a brand. So these conversations are happening, and it's important that you're there and you're listening. So taking a look here at the percentage of adults who use social, we can see that Facebook, obviously, as we all know, is a big giant. But also LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, they're all relatively similar in adult audience size. So there's a lot of activity out there. Just as each social network has grown, your company's digital footprint is getting bigger and bigger, and it's harder to keep up. You see all Facebook, Pinterest, Google+, LinkedIn, Houzz, Yelp, Twitter, Instagram, and those are just some of the bigger ones we pointed out here. They're all, your footprint is spread across multiple channels. It's not just your website. It's the wild, wild west out there. You may be asking yourself, do I need to be everywhere, or can I not just be on Facebook? It's the big one, right? Do I target existing customers, or is there an opportunity for me to find new ones out there? What about all these people who are saying negative things about my brand and upset customers who come and rant on my page? How do I deal with them? Do I respond to them? Do I delete it? Do I try to garner press exposure? Can I do some outreach to media on these channels? Is that appropriate? Or do I just focus on building a larger audience? Is it all about the fans, or do I actually have to engage them? So this is where a solid game plan is key, and this is what we work at here at Surefire Social with our social media team. When we have a new client, we start by developing a social media strategy and a content plan. And by that, we look at who your audience is. Where are they? What channels are they using? What are they talking about online? What's important to them? And how does that relate to your brand? From there, with the content team, we can create and share unique content. Content that will help build engagement online, that will help with, building your community and outreaching to potential customers. As part of it, we also amplify via paid social media. Channels like Facebook are killing your reach. You may be putting out great content, but it's not necessarily getting to all of those fans. How do we amplify it, and what's the right message there for that? And finally, but most importantly, we measure and we optimize. What did we learn? What's working? What's not working? What do people care about? What are they clicking on? What are they liking? And more importantly, what are they sharing? Because that's helping, grow our reach as much as possible. You also want to keep up with the trends, and that's a difficult thing to do when you're trying to keep up with all these channels and everything else, and what's new and what's the latest and greatest. So here at Surefire, we pay a lot of attention to that. That's part of what we do every day. A couple of things we wanted to mention. If you're not already aware, I'm sure you have your mobile sitting right there beside you, but the future is handheld. There's 1.9 billion people accessing social media through their mobile phone. Social networks are also becoming the new search engines. Not to downplay Google at all, but they have big competitors out there. We're going to Facebook to search. We're going to Houzz to search for what our friends are sharing when it comes to a remodeling project. We're going to Pinterest to find new recipes. We're not just going to Google to do it anymore. When something is breaking news, we're going to Twitter to click on a hashtag to see what people are saying about it. That's how we're sharing and getting our information these days. The Facebook newsfeed reach is continuing to decline. It's becoming more and more of a pay-to-play model. I've mentioned that briefly, but you may be putting out there 5, 10 posts a week, and your audience, maybe 5% of them are actually seeing them. It's actually more valuable to put a little less content out there and put a little bit of a budget behind those posts so you can actually reach people that you want to reach. Houzz just announced Apple TV. They're going to be part of the new Apple TV that came out, bringing home design right into your living room and not just on their website and on their app. So these are just a couple of the recent trends that we wanted to mention. Obviously with social, everything is changing all the time. I'm going to pass it over to Stephen, who's going to go through some tips and techniques and the relevance of each of these major social networks. You might find valuable.
Thank you, Lisa. So we are going to go through basically all the social media channels here. So we'll provide a lot of great tips and kind of what each purpose is for what you want to be using them for. So let's get ready. Starting with Facebook, the largest social media network. You don't really need to go into too much detail with this one because I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. If you're for Facebook advertising, like Lisa had mentioned, it's kind of become a pay-to-play arena, and there's ad types within Facebook that if you're a business with multiple locations, you can create an ad that pushes out the same ad to each location but customizes it per that location for the copy to best reach and target your audience there. The Facebook itself is focusing on small businesses, and it's recognizing that these are their bread and butter. It's what makes them money as a company, so they want to cater towards them and make sure that they're happy using Facebook as a site to reach their audience. So few tips: the best posts we see out there are those that contain the rich media. It's no longer enough to just post a text status with a link directing to your website. The posts that get engaged are the ones that have high quality images with custom text and video that can be hosted directly on Facebook itself and not necessarily YouTube anymore. Asking fans to review your business via Facebook is another way to grow your online reputation. It's a way to engage, connect with your audience. Before and after photographs of your projects, these work extremely well on no matter the social network you use, but particularly Facebook. And it's, like I said, consider a paid budget for when you're thinking about how to best use Facebook. Next, we will talk about Twitter. Twitter is a personal favorite of mine. It's very good for quick snippets of information, reaching wide audiences. It's, like Lisa said, it's where people go to when news breaks. It often hits Twitter before mainstream media. Recently, Twitter and Google reached an agreement that allows tweets to appear in online searches. This goes into all your SEO efforts and creating your online visibility that much more powerful. Twitter is excellent for customer service. It's been recommended that you should reply to mentions within an hour. This is what customers are expecting these days. So it's a lot of pressure on you as a business to be active in monitoring Twitter. Using 2 to 3 hashtags within each tweet can help extend your reach. And not many know this, but you can include 4 pictures per tweet. And it's not just one image per tweet kind of deal. That definitely helps out with your visuals and branding your Twitter. Instagram is becoming a big fan favorite for marketers and businesses because there's no filter for the news feed like Facebook, for example. Those who follow you will see your posts, your pictures. It's said that 58 times more engagement per follower than Facebook, which you can see why. Stick to photographs and short videos for the best reach. Location is a big factor, and hashtags really play an important role here on Instagram, more so than any other social media network, I believe. So LinkedIn, this is the go-to for work. It's a big one. So filling out a personal profile as well as a company profile as your business grows should be a top priority. Profiles with pictures receive 11 times more views than those that just have the generic profile picture. LinkedIn has become an increasingly go-to place to publish blogs or to repurpose them from your website, increase your exposure there. And big tip here is networking. Everyone you connect with offline you should connect to on LinkedIn. And groups and participating in conversations is where the real money is made. It's where you can show your expertise in your industry and kind of differentiate yourself from the competition. Google Plus doesn't need too much explanation. It's owned by Google. Google is king. Google controls SEO and search rankings. So it plays a factor in your whole SEO strategy. And share your content to Google Plus to boost your search results. Fill out your page with every description, business hours, what am I looking for? Business address, all that information. Pinterest is increasingly growing. It is a site mainly for inspiration and to share ideas and videos. This is big. You want to create project-based boards that will highlight your work and showcase your expertise. Pick images that inspire users. It said that 66% will save things that inspire them. And it's big because 85% of users who are on Pinterest are female, and these are often the decision makers who are deciding on whether to remodel the interior of their home. Pinterest also is great for driving website traffic. It's said to be only second to Facebook in terms of that. And people are on Pinterest a lot. You can see 14.2 minutes, 15 minutes people are spending looking at pins, and they could come across you. Howls is becoming the go-to for home improvement, inspiration, ideas, designs. You can think of it as Pinterest for pros. You want to be active and engage homeowners here. 90% of the 35 million users on Howls are homeowners, and a House and Home study reported that 69% of these homeowners chose to renovate the interior of their home within the past year. Homeowners are using Howls ready to buy. They expect to engage with businesses there in forms of commenting on posts, posting questions. There's message boards. For uploading photos here, it takes more than just a snap on your iPhone. You need high quality pictures, often by a professional photographer or high quality camera. The more visual you can get, the better. And an idea I learned here is you can get the customers involved in the whole planning process of the project by giving them some homework. Have them create idea books of what they would like to see their home look like, what they would like to see the whole project turn out to be, and then you can collaborate with them that way to get them more involved. And then Yelp and other review sites, your online reputation is essentially everything you have these days. 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from people they know. That's pretty mind-boggling right there. 93% of people doing research on review sites actually end up buying from the businesses they find there, and they can check out to make sure they're legit. For a complete profile is a winning profile. Make sure all of your descriptions, your information is there. You don't want to have it difficult to find you, and you don't want people to have trouble learning about your company. And don't be afraid to ask for reviews. But there are guidelines you have to follow to make note of. And then nobody likes to say it, but there will be times where you will receive a bad review online, whether you know it or not. And managing and looking at these sites is where the secret to success lies in. Everyone, the way you respond to negative reviews can turn that negative into a positive. It could really showcase more than anything else how much you're willing to go to satisfy customers, how much you want to make sure their needs are taken care of. And that plays a lot in the consideration from someone new who hasn't worked with you, and whether they'll choose you or someone else. And then the big thing is we recommend saying thanks. These, after all your paying customers should review you. and they've taken the time to thank you, so you should take the time to thank them. And it's also a key to promote new offers and sales for these review sites. And these are just a few of the clients that we work with. You can see some Facebook posts, House and Twitter are up there. I'm just kind of wrapping it all up, kind of seeing pictures are worth 1,000 words. So seeing more than just hearing can help nail these tips down.
So while you may not think social media isn't important, it's really not your call. Consumers use it, so you have to. Famous words by someone we love, Riva, founder and CEO of GrowBiz Media. We've added a few more considerations and things that we thought of that would be relevant to you all, specifically when we talk about creating content. That's content that matters to your audience. If they don't care about it, they're not going to share it. If they don't share it, your reach is really limited to the number of fans you may have on that page. And like we said, Facebook isn't even sharing it to all of them. So when you think about creating content, you want it to create conversation, you want it to generate interest, and ultimately engagement. You've got to think about how your content will drive website traffic. You want it to be visually appealing. And as we've noted, you need to think mobile first. Quick, short, to the point, not long, lengthy sentences. People don't have that long of an attention span anymore. You know how fast it takes to swipe up your iPhone, and your post is gone. If it's too long, people don't stop. If the video is too long, they don't want to listen. They don't want to go to YouTube and watch 15-minute demonstrations anymore. They want to see 15-second Instagram videos. They want to see less than 30 seconds on Facebook. Almost 90% of people drop off before 30 seconds on a Facebook video. We have to think about this when we create content. We have to think about the user and how they're going to utilize it. You need to post consistently to social media. There's no point in putting a profile up if you're not going to be there, if you're not going to generate fresh content for people. You have to find a schedule that works for you, though, and be consistent with it. You can automate a little, but don't overdo it. Don't take one post and put the same language everywhere in every channel, because as we mentioned, it's a different way of talking to each audience on each channel. Now, if you do automate, pay attention, like the shooting that happened yesterday. Make sure in the midst of a conversation about such terrible tragedy on Twitter, your post doesn't come out promoting your product and trying to get people to talk about your services. That's always a big no. In line with that, only engage in trending topics when it pertains to your business. Is this relevant to me? Just because everyone's talking about it doesn't mean it's an opportunity for you to throw your brand in there as well. And finally, you don't have to be everywhere. We've mentioned a lot of channels. We said that there's relevance in all of them, but start with one or two and learn what your audience wants. Think quality over quantity. Focus on core pieces of content that'll drive engagement on the right channels for you. And then if that's working, you take those learnings and you build and you expand to other channels. It's better to give people what they want than trying to be everywhere and doing less for everyone. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ken. He's going to tell you a little bit about our services and then specifically about our services in social media. And then we'll jump over to questions.
Hi, thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Stephen. So when it comes to our services at Surefire Social, we're a full digital marketing company. We help small, medium-sized businesses. The remodeling, home improvement industry is our biggest vertical. And we help them with the philosophy that your web presence is more than just a website. So we help develop and design websites so it's properly structured so that it converts. But our services that we offer are all about driving that hyper-local traffic to your website. And I define hyper-local as consumers that are looking for your products within your geographical area. So we provide services from search engine optimization to AdWords / pay-per-click, email marketing, and of course what everyone just went over earlier, the social media. So we're all about driving that high quality traffic to your site that converts into an appointment so you could go out and revenue. We have 3 different programs that we offer to the well-born remodelers, dealers, and contractors. The Do It With Me program is broken up into 3 different categories depending on your budget. We've put together programs that fit everybody's budget. So we have the Silver program, Gold, and Platinum. The Silver program, as you can see, is a 20-page site. You have a dedicated account manager, and the importance of that, they really become your digital marketing partner. You meet with them formally once a month, where you're going to delve into, down below, the SurePulse Analytics, which is really a total report card of your entire web presence that happens with your company, from where you're ranked, to where the traffic is coming from, to what's converting into leads, to all your different keywords, to your social media, to your reputation management, is all on one dashboard. And when you meet with your account manager at that time, you're going to dig into that so you have an understanding, so we're constantly moving the needle in the right direction. As Lisa mentioned earlier, what Google likes to see is relevancy and recency. So in all these different programs, we write monthly blogs. We find out subject lines about you, your company, something new that's going on with Wellborn, or something relevant. And we write these blogs, we put them on your site, and once again, depending on your program, in the Silver, they just stay on your site, but Google's recognizing the recency and relevancy. And in the Gold and Platinum, we're then publishing those blogs to those social media sites that they mentioned, the Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and House. So I am available to discuss the different programs. We offer a free website analysis where we will do really an x-ray of your company, of your web presence, and share that with you. And as a well-born remodeler, dealer, contractor, there's no charge for that. Our social media services, Lisa, would you like to expand on this?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Ken. So as I mentioned, I went through our process of what we do here. That can include many things. We can develop an overall social media program that will help optimize your presence across all of these channels and more if needed. It's an array of different things, and a lot of it can be a la carte depending on what you need and where your audience is. You would be assigned a social media manager to your account that you would communicate with via email and on monthly calls and monthly reviews. We would put together an initial strategy where your business should be, why they should be there, how they should communicate, what types of content are relevant. We do ongoing company and industry research that's relevant to you and your audience, and we create content and publish it. You know, monthly editorial calendars that you would review and approve prior to posting. We integrate custom graphics for your brand that are original pieces of content for your audience. We can also monitor social media channels. What are people saying? You know, how should we respond to them? How do we deal with this disgruntled customer? We can do outreach and engagement to really build that audience and go after those influencers online and those possible PR opportunities. And as mentioned, we do a monthly performance review, an annual review. What have we learned? How can we improve? You know, how are things changing, keeping you up to date with trends and staying relevant to your business. So we have a 50% off offer. If you set up any Surefire social package by December 18th, you'll receive 50% off our services. And you can reach out to any of us here to get more information on that. But we can turn it over to questions. If anybody has any question they want to type in the box, anything that popped up, anything that we didn't mention that you'd like to know about, feel free to type a question in and let us know. Okay, I don't see any questions popping up, so we are going to wrap it up. You can also email info@surefiresocial.com if you have any pending question that you didn't type up there. You think of something afterwards, feel free to reach out to us. All of us here will have access to that. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.